Welcome to Scale Like a CEO, the podcast where successful entrepreneurs share their scaling strategies and leadership insights. Today's episode features Alex Koshykov, a serial entrepreneur and CEO who's revolutionizing healthcare technology. With nearly a decade of experience building tech solutions, Alex is now focused on democratizing medical diagnostics through innovative devices that bridge the gap between patients and quality healthcare.
Alex, thank you so much for joining me on Scale Like a CEO. Just to get us started, if you wouldn't mind, give us a 90-second intro to you. And you work in a few businesses, so tell us what you're up to.
Sure. Try me. Almost 9 years ago, I co-founded a service business. We build tech for companies, mostly in healthcare and wellness industries. It's software, hardware, and AI solutions. And then at some point, we thought that it's time for us to move into the product business as well. So a couple of years ago, we started building our own medical device startup called YOD, your Online Doctor Diagnostics. And that's the one I'm mostly working on right now as the CEO.
Great. And what do you see as some of the biggest challenges in your industry, and how are you solving them?
Oh, wow. How much time do we have?
Uh,
Healthcare and challenges, that's can be your podcast for sure. There's a lot, to be honest. And I think a lot of people know that healthcare in the US has some issues, let's put it that way. Even though some people say that it's working really well for 10% of the population, probably mostly the richest part of the population. But for everyone who is in other 90%, there are definitely lots of challenges. The cost, the transparency of prices, so many. And I think one that I'm trying to solve is the data problem, because I feel like with all the AI stuff happening right now, people think that AI is going to solve everything, but AI cannot really solve much without data. So with my medical device, we're actually working on provide that data to potentially LLMs to make predictions and analysis and many other things. So yeah, there are lots of challenges, but I'm trying to solve one at a time.
yeah. And, what makes you unique in the way that you're helping others?
All the project came from my home country, which is Ukraine. And we initially came to the platform as a volunteer project to help Ukrainians affected by the war. And basically, there are many Ukrainians who literally cannot get offline medical help. Either they live close to the front line, or there are not enough healthcare professionals in their region, or people are refugees in other countries and just they literally don't know the language of the country where they moved to. So they cannot really go to a doctor and understand what he or she says. So we built this telehealth platform, and it works well. And we got lots of feedback from doctors. And they said, yeah, software works fine. We don't see any bugs or anything, but it's still hard to diagnose patients without accurate data. And that's how the idea came to us. We literally built the device that can help get the data to doctors. And I think because we decided to solve the problem for Ukrainians literally in the middle of the war, I think that gives us uniqueness and understanding of why we're building this. It's not just another tech business to make millions of dollars, or maybe, hopefully. But even if it's not going to happen, at least we're already helping Ukrainians that need that help.
That's great. And such mission and purpose that you have behind the work that you're doing. That's incredible. I want to pivot a little bit and talk about, you've grown multiple businesses. And so, on the podcast, we like to talk about, scaling and challenges and strategies for scaling. So I'd love to hear a little bit about, as, any of the other businesses that you've been scaling, what are some challenges that you've faced in scaling up and growing through people?
All the business owners, they want to scale business really fast, and obviously there are lots of challenges come with that scaling, as you rightly. It's much harder to manage. The more people you have under the one roof, it's much harder to manage, and that's why you have to learn how to delegate, how to build really good managers lower level. So you don't need to talk to each of your employees on the daily basis. And right now in our first company, Bkey, we're close to 50 people, 50 employees. And purposely, we decided to build a very flat organization where you literally anywhere from junior developer, junior specialist can talk to CEO or COO and ask any questions. And that I think it helps transparency and like the culture of the organization shifts when you literally know that you can give a call to a CEO in any minute and ask a question that really bothers you. I think that helps a lot as well.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of that transparency and the flat organization. One challenge I think that often introduces is that the CEO is kind of solving everyone's problems. I'm curious how you've managed through that.
We really are very careful with selecting people to work with, but that paid us off because most of our employees have been working with us for many years. And actually, I think we recently calculated that almost half of the current employees work with us for more than 5 years, which is pretty insane, especially in the tech industry. So I think these people who've been working with us for many, many years, they really understand the level of complexity of questions you can ask CEO. So no one is coming to you right now asking like, hey, like what type of coffee should we order? Like, I don't know, something like that. But people understand that if you want to pin CEO or any of the top managers, it's got to be an important problem for you personally or for the team every time they have like a small issue. And that helps a lot to kind of have this understanding between teammates, what should be asked and what shouldn't.
Well, that's great. It sounds like you've got a group of people that are fairly empowered to solve their own problems, and only when they're not able to do they escalate those. And amazing that you've got such a population that have been with you for over 5 years. I'm curious if we think about, you mentioned that you were very careful in the selection of people. So I'd love to talk about that then. What were some of the things that you were looking for as you were hiring and building the team?
That's a good question. I don't think we ever had like a list of requirements where like check mark, check mark, check mark that at the interview. I feel like the main goal is to choose literally the best candidate we found out of all. And with all the stuff that's happening like in politics right now and like all that woke stuff that people say, we literally don't care if a person, a gender or sexual orientation, whatever it is, the color scheme. We literally try to find the best candidate with the best knowledge for that specific position, and everything else, it just doesn't matter. And I think it's working out great for us. And to be fair, I think more than 50% of the management positions are females in our company. And yeah, we had a few cases when women went for their maternity leave. We waited for a year or a year and a half, and they came back and still working for us. So we had a few cases like that. So I think looking for the best talent out there and that fits your internal culture as well, I think that's the only ingredients that we use to find talent.
Yeah. And if you think back to the beginning, what was it? What were some of the key things that led you to start hiring? Because that's also a challenge, right? Like, when do we hire? How many people do we hire? I'm curious, what process you went through to decide how you grew.
When you're an early stage company, obviously you do it all and wear as many hats as possible. But then you realize that you probably need to sleep more than 2 hours a day. And that's when you're like, okay, I think we need more people that can be involved and help us out. So the growth was pretty organic. Like, for example, we found another client and we realized that to implement that project, we need additional 3 people. So we just opened 3 more job openings, find those people and start growing. And then it kind of organically grows. So the idea that we're not managing and we're not capable of doing all the work that we have at the moment is fairly simple. And once you realize that, yeah, you still try to have that life work balance and get enough sleep. So I think we managed over the past 9 years to find that sort of balance. And yeah, if we need more people, we're not going to ask one person just to take 3 projects instead of one, just because we don't have enough people. We'll open a job opening and we'll hire someone else.
That's great. So very much organic growth, kind of based on the volume of work that you have. I'm curious, if you can think about a time when you felt overwhelmed by decision making, and what strategies did you use to overcome that?
Daily basis. Yeah, there's lots going on, and like having multiple businesses that you pointed, it's hard. You got to learn how to manage your schedule well, how to delegate properly, and I think there is an advantage and disadvantage to that. I think the disadvantage right now is that I do spend much less time with the team than I did before. Well, and especially back then, I know 4 years ago, we had our office somewhere in person. It was a completely different story. Like I had a much better connection with the team. Literally, I know, playing table tennis in the office or um, football or soccer, whatever you call that. It helps to build that relationship. And now being remote and being overwhelmed with lots of projects and businesses, it's definitely hard to maintain that level of relationship with teammates. But on the other hand, yeah, I think the level of delegating and proper management is on a much different level right now than we had a few years ago. So it comes with both sides, both positive and negative.
Yeah. And so looking forward, what's your vision for the evolution of the business?
And I guess I would have to answer separately for different businesses, but because for the medical device startup, the vision is pretty simple: to bring our device to every patient's home across the globe. Like everyone has a regular to monitor now. Many years ago, nobody had one, but then somehow everybody has one now. So I think with all the technology and digitalization, everybody should have our devices similar to our device that can help diagnose a patient remotely. So that's our little ambitious, but that's our goal for the product. And for the service business, obviously we rush into AI as many companies as well. I think AI is going to be crucial and transform every industry. And we don't want to be late for that party. So we are working hard with AI for the past couple of years. We've been implementing in a few projects already. So we want to be, I wouldn't call it the best expert. I don't think AI is fairly young technology. I don't think people should call them experts at all, whoever is doing that, because it's like we had this case a few years ago when a client was looking for a specific developer, and like, yeah, I want this developer with 5 years of experience, and the technology was only 3 years old. So like, if you cannot find a developer with 5 years of experience for something that appeared only 3 years ago, similar with AI, yeah, I don't think anyone like is an actual super expert now, because it's still so young and everybody's learning, and so we are as we, yeah.
Yeah, I love that you make that point. I mean, I have a problem with the word expert in general. I don't like it because it seems terminal to me. Like you've reached some pinnacle of knowledge that's more than anyone else. But to me, that's a very fixed growth mindset, a very fixed mindset position, because it says, I'm done learning, but there's so much more that we can learn about anything. And so especially in AI, anyone claiming to be an AI expert right now, I want to challenge that, because have you really been working in it that long? There are very few people that have. So I agree
Yeah,
with you.
100%, I agree. Yeah.
Well, Alex, I really enjoyed the conversation today. If folks want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do so?
I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. So if you want to reach out, just shoot me a message on LinkedIn. I usually respond pretty quickly. But also, there's our website, bkey.io. Website for our startup is yodd.health. Any of those channels, whatever works best for you. Please don't hesitate to reach out, ask questions. Happy to answer.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Alex.